Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm back here once again, and tonight I'm going to be doing a review for the second film that I got sent to me from Chris Miller. As you guys know, I recently reviewed the film American Holocaust that he had sent me a couple nights ago, and I actually received this next movie I'm going to be reviewing now a couple days ago, and this movie is also from the Sleaze box. And this one is actually very different from American Holocaust. And I absolutely really enjoyed this one. But this film is called Hell Walks the Earth. And this one is directed by Terrence Muncy, I think is how you pronounce it. But yeah, just check out that cover. It's really, really cool. And then here's the back. Like I said, it was put out by the Sleaze box. And yeah, when they sent it to me, I got some cool, like, little postcards and, I mean, not little postcards, but, like, advertisement of their two films, which is American Holocaust, and then right there, and then, this one right here, which is them advertising their, YouTube channel. And then, there's also a flyer in here for their up-and-coming film, Joe Vampire, which, looks really cool. But yeah, like I said, Hell Walks the Earth is very different from American Holocaust. And I really enjoyed it. This movie is actually a great homage and sort of a great tribute to classic zombie movies. And I know there's been so many zombie films that have come out, recently. And it's really hard to find one that's really good, really original, and, it keeps you, keeps you entertained. And I must say that this movie really, really does keep you entertained. It's a really, really great twist on the zombie genre. It's got a lot of, great elements and sort of, homages to other classic zombie films. And, yeah, it's just a really great one. So, yeah, basically what you have here is the whole film is set in a town called Darkside. And the whole movie it was actually shot in black and white, which I really did enjoy, because I think that there's all the classic zombie films have been in black and white, and I think that black and white is a really cool thing to do now because like I said, it's different, and it also really helps because you don't have to worry so much about color or lighting or whatever, especially when especially when for a filmmaker's point of view, you don't have to worry about that as much. Like if there's something on there that doesn't look right, like blood or whatever, it won't be that noticeable in black and white. But anyway, it looks really great in black and white, like I said, and it's also it's a little bit grainy. It's not really grainy that much. It's kind of grainy a bit. It's got a sort of a grindhouse feel to it. But yeah, like I said, the movie was shot. The movie is in a small town called Darkside, and the movie opens with this girl named Crystal, who's talking to the woman that works at this sort of like old antique store, and she's talking about her fiance, Matt Torrance is his name, and she's talking about that he just proposed to her and everything. And then once she walks outside, she ends up getting hit by a car and ends up dying from this guy that was just driving down the road not paying attention. It ends up hitting her and it kills her. And the next couple scenes are basically Mike getting a call saying that his fiance just died, and he ends up going down to the morgue where he is then introduced to the sheriff of the town, and his sort of deputy guy, who's kind of a sleazeball. His name is Deputy Handsome, I think it is, and he's basically a sort of a pervert in the movie, but he's down there and they're performing an autopsy on her, and he of course is very upset that his girlfriend just died. So upset that when he goes back home, he ends up sort of getting into some sort of a kind of a rage, and he starts kicking things around. And while this is happening, he ends up putting his fist through the wall of his house. And when he looks when he looks behind the wall, there's a skull there, and he also finds an old parchment and a book. And when he gets the book out, apparently he knows that the book is actually belonged to his father, and he begins reading it. And basically, what the book says is that once blood from a person in his father's family, his kin, touches the scroll or touches the book, then it will cause basically the dead to come back and walk the earth. And when Mike punches his hand through the wall, he ends up getting a splinter, and his hand starts bleeding blood. And so that's pretty much how the dead are then awakened. There's also a bit of a story about Crystal's sister, Mary Beth, I think her name is, and she's been trying to contact Crystal all this time. She ends up coming to the town looking for her, and she ends up getting attacked by one of the zombies. Gets covered in blood and begins, running down, trying to find somebody. She ends up running into the sheriff, who automatically thinks that she's killed somebody or something because she's covered in blood, and, just handcuffs her, puts her in a car, and he almost gets attacked by this one guy, Billy Ray, who everybody in town obviously knows him because because he ends up calling his deputy and he's like, hey, there's something wrong with Billy Ray. He doesn't understand that Billy's actually dead, and the girl Mary keeps telling him, oh, the dead, they're coming back to life and everything, and of course he thinks that she's crazy. But as it goes on, he ends up starting to believe her once, the zombies end up, of course, coming back and trying to get them. But Mike ends up running into another girl. He finds her in a car that just had a car accident, and it's him and her, and they're basically going around. They end up both going back to the morgue, and then once he finds out that that Crystal's no longer there, her body's not there, then the rest of the film is kind of him trying to find her, and it's a really great movie. Also, of course, the sheriff and Mary Beth are also going around trying to find, where Mike went, try to find more people, anybody that's still alive. And I don't want to give anything away, at all, so I'm going to stop right there. Now, my thoughts on this movie: this was a really great low-budget zombie flick. One of the main things I like about it is there's hardly any gore in it. There's only a couple of scenes in it that actually have any blood. And that's what I liked, because usually in most new zombie films, it's just blood everywhere, gore, gore, gore. And this one, there's hardly any blood at all, which I'm pretty sure because it was low budget, they couldn't get a lot of blood. Maybe, I'm not quite sure, but I really did like that. I felt there wasn't a lot of gore or a lot of blood in it. There was also a lot of sort of shout-outs to, classic zombie films. Like at the beginning of the film, before Mary Beth goes out to, go out to the town to find Crystal, she's talking to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend is sitting there watching Night of the Living Dead. You don't see it, but you do get to hear him. You do get to hear, the characters on the screen. I think it's Johnny, Barbara's brother in Night of the Living Dead. You hear him saying, they're coming to get you, Barbara. And when I saw it, I was like, I know exactly what influenced this film. Another cool thing is sorry, Mike, I forgot his name. After Mike and the girl go to the morgue, they're of course going around trying to find a safe place. They end up getting a radio at the sheriff's department, and one of the guys on the radio says, "Hey, we're over here at the Romero house," which I really liked. It's a shout out to George A. Romero. And they end up, of course, going to the Romero house, where there's a couple of hillbillies there, just sort of holed up in there, and that's really when the gore really begins. But like I said, there's not a lot of gore, which like I said, I really appreciated. The movie's, like I said, a really cool, grainy, black and white. It's really low budget too. One thing I thought was funny was I always wonder, when it comes to independent movies and it comes to films about people running through the city, I wonder what people that don't have anything to do with the movie wonder what do they think to have a guy, this guy running around with a camera filming people running through the street, and like how many people, I wonder, did the director have to, say, okay, we're just filming a movie, so if you see people running, screaming for help, don't worry about it. I always wonder about that. But yeah, it almost looks like the entire town is abandoned. The only scene that actually shows other people that aren't involved in the movie is when Mike and the other girl are talking on the walkie-talkie, and there's actually a freeway right next to them, and that's the only scene that actually shows other people that aren't involved in the movie. You know, I'm sure it's pretty hard for a director to tell everybody in the town, you know, hey, this is a movie, you know, and try and find different places to film also. But yeah, so yeah, if you're a fan of really good zombie flicks, I definitely recommend checking this out. Like I said, it's really low budget. There's not a lot of gore, but it really has a lot of good homages to classic zombie flicks, and it's a really good story. You know, shot in black and white, really low budget. And yeah, I really did enjoy this one. But that was Hell Walks the Earth. Like I did for American Holocaust, I'll leave a link down below where you can order the movie, and I'll also leave a link down below to the trailer of the movie as well, where you can watch it and, you know, see for yourself whether or not you want to pick it up or not. But anyway, guys, that was my review for Hell Walks the Earth. I hope that this helps you out in deciding whether or not to pick it up. I definitely recommend you do. So, yeah, so for all my subscribers out there, I just want to say a happy 4th of July weekend. I hope you guys have a great time this weekend. You know, I hope that you have a lot of fun. You know, if you guys got any plans, definitely let me know what you guys are doing this weekend. I'm going to try and spend some time with my mom and her boyfriend. We're going to probably be eating out or whatever, you know, and just having a good time if it's not raining. It's been raining a lot lately. But, yeah, so like I said, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and have a good 4th of July weekend, everyone. Later.